Have we got all 3 compounds of tyre on the grid?
Negative, we can chat when you get out of the car there.
I'd like to consider a change of start tyre. You know which direction that'll probably be.
Car feels good. No real issues. So, oh yeah, I'm happy.
Copy that.
pedals are a little bit soft.
Okay.
So like passive.
Yeah, we'll just quick check.
It is time for the first sprint of the season.
Wonderful moment where we deal with the grid, we go down to trackside pictures, get the hum of the revs.
Expectation high on the grid, expectation high in the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, and I'm joined by former Formula One driver Jolyon Palmer for what seems like an open battle at the front. Yuki Tsunoda planning a charge from the back. Seems a wide open sprint.
It really is, yeah. I mean, we've had so much drama already this weekend, and we haven't even got racing. Here we go then for the first time out of two. Grand Prix tomorrow, sprint coming up right now. It's been a three-horse race all weekend at the front. Leclerc v the Red Bulls. Leclerc starts from the front. All of them are on the mediums, apart from Norris and Bottas. So you have a free choice of tyre, But Norris and Bottas are the only two that have gone for the soft. Norris gambling a little bit from 10th. Remember, points for the top 8. He wants to get a good start and get in there. For these guys, warm-up's going to be a little bit tough.
Great shot at the rear of the field. Local time, 5:30, on board with the man who turned 3rd on the grid to victory here by the largest ever margin in the Grand Prix 1 year ago. And that is very wonky parking for our P1 man, Charles Leclerc, taking us on to the formation lap. And we have a look at all...
So we've got Norris P10 on the soft tyre, Bottas P15 also on the soft, everyone else on medium. Looks like both Ferraris are on new medium, everyone else on used.
Maybe
Leclerc was on a sort of brand spanking new tyres, whereas the Red Bull, when we jumped on with Verstappen, they'd at least had a bit of a run-in. Weren't shiny new like they were on the Ferrari, as they go. Verstappen weaving hard on the back straight. Naturally, that would favour Leclerc having a little bit more grip, but taking the shine off the tyre can help with warm-up as well. So all of the guys on the medium, that's all of the top 9, are going to have some difficulty in the first half a lap at least, maybe the first lap or two, to get some heat into the tyres, to get the grip, and you can go racing into the first corner, then again into turn 3. There's a big stop there before it funnels a little bit through this section at turn 7. So Leclerc, he's got to try and fire these tyres up and then keep the lead from the two Red Bulls that are going to be watching each other, don't forget, as well, with a bit of championship permutations in play.
17 laps ahead of us. We're 100 kilometres for the drivers to cover. 8 points for the winner. Losing 1 point all the way down to 8th place. So that is the sprint race format. No repercussions for Sunday. It's leave it all out fighting on a Saturday night for track position. And you can be told by the team, take no risks, take no chances, but the adrenaline of that opening lap, you're on pure instinct at that point. Max Verstappen, the championship leader. Sergio Perez always has phenomenal form around here. If he can beat his teammate today, he'll just chip away at that championship advantage. And the news that Azerbaijan will remain on the calendar up to and including the 2026 season, announced today. A contract extension. There's the old tower that I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the old town that has 3,000 people living within the old city walls. It's a phenomenal location. The driver's not interested in any of it. They are in race mode right now, thinking about what they need to do in the opening meters of the sprint.
Indeed. It's a nice announcement with the weekend drama that we've had so far, though, that we're coming back here for another few years at least. It's a short run to the first corner. That'll help Leclerc. It gives less time to anyone to try and take him down the inside, as Perez did in the start last season. It's just going to be about trying to get that rear tyre to burn out from Leclerc now, then eyes to the lights and get the reaction time as well.
What can Aston Martin do? Struck all weekend with a DRS problem, which, if it happens in this format, is going to leave them sitting ducks. The teamwork, the brilliant teamwork that we saw in the shootout, it's going to be hard to replicate that. And we are riding on board further down the order with Nick de Vries, because he's looking to try and extract some of the clear pace that AlphaTauri clearly has. He's the last car on the grid. Remember, we've got an Alpine in the garage, and unfortunately for Logan Sargent, his crash in the shootout means that he is watching with the rest of us. Stirring moments as they lead the cars to the line. Gasly is the Alpine on the back row next to Nick de Vries. One Alpine in the pit lane. Cars nearly lined up. 17 laps ahead. We await the green flag at the back, which is our signal to look to the lights. There's the green flag. Here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights in Azerbaijan. And Formula One is sprinting away in Baku with Charles Leclerc maintaining the lead into turn number 1. That looked like a good launch for Lando Norris. He couldn't do anything on that soft compound of tyre. That's George Russell to the inside of Max Verstappen. That is so close to contact, and somehow they kept it out of the wall. Leclerc, then Perez, and through goes George Russell, checking the mirrors because he's got Carlos Sainz and company as well. This is the battle for P3. The first two as they were. Russell won't give up on this one. Neither will Verstappen, and Verstappen is shown the wall What a move, George Russell!
Second race in a row, he's got his elbows out with Max Verstappen. I think they had a little touch at turn 2 and it just put Max into a little oversteer.
He tapped me.
In the end, though, I mean, how they could race without Verstappen actually being forced into the barriers. It was supreme skill with tight margins there. The Mercedes going aggressive. Verstappen not yielding at all. Kept trying to hang it around the outside. That's risky business, and they got away with it. Russell up into third. There goes Verstappen. He at least kept Sainz behind him, but he did drop down.
He tapped me.
So did Fernando Alonso. He was up to 7th, but the big winner currently in 3rd position is George Russell. So superb move of brinkmanship between those two. Here's Max Verstappen.
All good, Max. These guys have got nothing to lose. Just remember that.
No, mate, he tapped me. That's how you got the position. Reported.
It's been reported.
I can also pass like that if I keep tapping into the side.
So, yellow flag in the second.
All good, Max. These guys have got nothing to lose. Just remember that.
No, mate, he tapped me. That's how you got the position. Reported.
It's been reported.
I can also pass like that if I keep tapping into the side.
So do that before, but Tsunoda, so there's a tyre carcass on the circuit in the final sector. There will also be debris there. He was missing pieces of the front wing, and that will maybe mean a virtual safety car. Race control may take that view. They'll be assessing the monitors in race control at the moment. Across the line to start lap 2, it was Leclerc, Perez, Russell, Verstappen unhappy on the radio, Sainz P5. There's Lando Norris, who gained a place past Lance Stroll, who's giving chase.
Yeah, unless someone can grab that tyre off the racetrack, we're going to be safety carring past it, and it's in the next sector, so they've got a little bit of time to figure it out, race control. But Leclerc fast approaching that section. Nothing in it for me. The Russell-Verstappen tap, it was a slight tap. Two drivers racing very hard wheel to wheel. This is a guaranteed safety car.
That is a full carcass. It's not the full wheel, but it's the carcass of tyre. They also sent them through the middle sector where there was debris, and still virtual safety car is deployed at the moment, so they're giving themselves some thinking time. Yuki Tsunoda, star of the show yesterday in Grand Prix qualifying in the sprint today. Whoa!
Has he had a car failure there? That's a flat-out corner that he's just understeered clean into the wall. Is the front wing dropped or something, and it's got stuck, or he's bottomed out and hasn't been able to turn?
That's a strange one. That's got to be a failure. That is, as you say, Jordan, that is a flat-out section. It's a rather unusual sight at turn 16.
I wonder if he's had contact just a little bit earlier on, and that's caused some damage, maybe suspension damage or something else then, and resulted in Tsunoda being really caught out. It should be easy peasy through there, and yeah, Yuki just armful of understeer. They're not on full tanks either, remember. There's only a third distance of a Grand Prix, so bizarre one for Yuki and VSC. Hopefully it can be fairly quick. There's a lot of debris as well on the outside of 15. So they need to clear that, and then someone needs to pick up the tyre that's left down exiting that corner as well, and then we can get racing again.
On the left-hand side, Russell gaining a place, as did Alonso, as did Norris. The top 8 scoring here. So that soft tyre gamble. Norris got an amazing getaway, didn't have the momentum to be able to use it. Eyes to the front, here's the race start.
Leclerc got a really good jump. Verstappen was slightly sluggish away, and then this fight now, 3rd and 4th. Russell slightly ahead coming into the corner, then neck and neck through it, and then Max holds it. Just about is given the space on the outside. Next corner, Russell now a little bit behind coming into it. Sticks a nose in. They have a little tap, and that is what Max is not happy about. The tap that again sent him close to the wall, but he didn't hit it. A final time, this is the replay of turn 2 then. And the little tap that sent Max towards the wall, but not into it. And then they go wheel to wheel for the final time here. And again, Max is right up to the wall, and he hits it on his own. But with Russell giving him no space at all. I cannot believe the two of them got through and are still in this race with the way that was. That was really, really tight stuff. And just about they were given enough room to race.
Terrific racing, but you can see Yuki Tsunoda's car not in terrific shape, and he will try and bring that back, but his day is done.
Looks like he's controlling one huge drift down there, Tsunoda, coming down to turn 3. I mean, I don't know AlphaTauri should not have been releasing that car, given the condition it's quite clearly in, just crabbing in the extreme. We're only under
shopping
VSC.
trolley stuff, isn't it, for Yuki Tsunoda?
It's absolutely hideous. So and he whacked that wall hard. That's a flat-out section that he hit the wall in. I'm amazed that he actually managed to get back round to the pit lane with the contact that he had with that barrier.
Race control investigating the release in an unsafe condition of that AlphaTauri to the racetrack. Virtual safety car is out. Full safety car is now deployed.
I think I went through some debris. Check front right and rear right.
Understood. The moment they are fine pressures, but we're checking.
There's only a little bit of debris. With the VSC, then the deltas can go up and down, and there's no way of making sure everyone is going so slowly past that bit of debris there. So the full safety car is deployed. We're counting down the laps. I mean, it's only 17 of the sprint anyway, and we're already on to lap 4. So now the full safety car will gather the race leader.
Well, the debris hit me over. Yeah, I've only gone ways, man. What is he doing, honestly?
Distant.
Always inevitable on the opening laps. You're going to get issues like that. Be interesting to wind back Yuki Tsunoda's opening lap and see if we could pinpoint if there was contact there, because that's a strange place to have a failure. Flat out section, not where you want it to go wrong.
Okay, Max. We have picked up some floor damage. Just waiting for the balance shift.
How?
How do you think? Okay, Max. We have picked up some floor damage. Just waiting for the balance shift.
How?
How do you think?
Did he really drive into the side of... I don't understand how he can keep the position and he's damaging my car. I find it ridiculous.
That he's not title fighting. Verstappen has got to be a little bit more careful with him. You know, Verstappen wants to win a championship here. Russell's not going to win the championship this season. So every time they go wheel to wheel, it's Max that has to be that bit more cautious. And he wasn't particularly cautious. Actually, into turn 2, he was more ahead than he was at turn 1 when he was hanging it, and turn 3. But Max just doesn't yield. So he's going to eventually have these 50-50 moments, and it just didn't come off for him there. Tiny bit of floor damage as well. Shouldn't be huge for Max. I think he'll get over that one. He's still got a very quick race car underneath him. It's just, you know, corner 2, lap 1, tiny touch. That's racing, especially around a street as narrow and tight as this one, on medium tyres that are not up to temperature. Tiny touch.
They have sent the marshals out there. The track sectors are clear in the relevant track sectors. The incident involving releasing Yuki Tsunoda's car in an unsafe condition is going to be reviewed after the race. He is crabbing his way all the way back to the pit lane as we speak, but I wonder if it might need... Now we're clearing mini sector 12, which is where we saw some of the debris earlier on.
Yeah, debris is gone. It's clear.
Okay, thanks for that.
Lap behind Bernd Mailander, who has held that for a long while, that role in the Formula 1 safety car.
And with the full safety car, the dynamic shifts as well for Leclerc. Here we go with Yuki. This is coming through turn 3.
Oh, it's his teammate.
Yeah, debris is gone. It's clear.
Okay, thanks for that.
So that's Hamilton declaring that we should be racing again. So was there
Yeah, debris is gone. It's clear.
Okay, thanks for that.
or the suspension front left, more likely the way that the car's been crabbing its way back round again, and is the reason that Yuki ploughed into the wall in the first place. Again, tiny tap between the two, and that was the corner after Verstappen and Russell had their nudge, and Tsunoda is out of the sprint here.
And that is the AlphaTauri being released, which is going to be investigated later on. Franz Tost looking on moments later, apparent that the car not in a state to continue any longer. AlphaTauri, who have a great record around here, on the podium with Pierre Gasly a couple of years ago. 5th place, best result of the team's entire season here last year, and yet it's just not working out. Chance for Tsunoda tomorrow, goes from 8th in the Grand Prix.
No one noticed the rear was just offered a very bent angle when they're putting the new tyre back on, new wheel back on. Hey, safety car ending. Leclerc at the front. This is a really difficult circuit to do a safety car restart. It's such a long blast from where you'd normally be flat out, turn 16, all the way to the start line. Traditionally, we see drivers going very slow, crawling the crocodile all the way to the line, and then giving it just that short blast into turn 1. The problem you then have is tyre temp goes down and down, and we're back into another race start.
There was a cut.
Charles Leclerc on the radio reporting there was a cut.
Quite a bit of bouncing down, weaving left to right in the straight.
Copy, I see the marker.
Hesitation as he was going on the throttle, and a bit of engine concerns for Leclerc, who's had his concerns already this season. Only 6 points, leading this one.
Worst ever start to a campaign at Ferrari, a race where 1 year ago he was in the lead and he had a failure. Now in full restart mode, it's going to wait a lot longer before he drops the hammer. You want to give the field the least time possible behind, and you cannot overtake until the start-finish line. That is why they're waiting, and we are waiting for the Monegasque driver to take us back to racing conditions with the green flag flying. You can't overtake, and you must be single file when you plan your overtake. You can't do the old tactics of edging up 2 by 2. Leclerc just waiting to drop the hammer. Huge pressure moment. He's waiting until the last possible moment. You don't want to leave it until the actual line, because then the rest of the field know that you've got to go. Can't be long left now, and you can see he builds his speed up and immediately tries to break the toe. Perez is going to go with him. Verstappen immediately on the cusp of going alongside George Russell, and Max Verstappen wants that place back. That's the move that we're going to get into turn number 1. Won't be the only one. And Sainz gets past Hamilton as well. Verstappen past Russell. Sainz gets past Hamilton. Aggressive stuff on the restart. And through goes Fernando Alonso past Hamilton, down to 7.
Sainz was brave on the brakes into turn 1 with the two side-by-side ahead. Verstappen passing Russell. Sainz sent it down. And that was a nice pass. Allowed Fernando Alonso to come through as well. So as Hamilton has lost out a couple of positions side-by-side behind with Norris and Stroll. And Stroll taking that place against the soft tyres of Lando.
Taking that place back that he lost at the original start of the race. The Red Bulls had some pace there. You have to wait until the leader takes it back to foot flat to the floor racing before you can go out of the 1-by-1 formation. You cannot overtake till the start-finish line, and that was timed really nicely by Verstappen, getting past Russell, and Sainz far more on the brink. Here's Verstappen then, timing it. Wait for the start-finish line, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There it is, and he can make the move.
Perfect from Verstappen. He predicted it very well. Checo ahead. Perez held back quite a long way to try and get a bit of a jump on Leclerc, but it didn't work out for him. Leclerc can dictate when he wants to go, and Perez couldn't react. That left him a little bit under pressure from Russell, but it was Verstappen who preempted all of it and managed to come clean up the inside of George Russell before Russell could even think about a defensive move. So for all of that frustration that Max had, he's back into third.
Has that option. Verstappen in third place, then Russell, then Sainz, then Alonso and Hamilton are the closest battle, it appears. If we look back, let's just check if Perez is overspeed here, gives him an opportunity. Not this time. We'll count our way back through the field. Is there a chance for Lewis Hamilton to take that place back? Not on the brakes. Fastest lap, Charles Leclerc.
DRS enabled now. Perez will get it now as he comes out of turn 2. And this should be a chance. Remember how good the Red Bull is when it opens that DRS flap. It has such overspeed, and Leclerc might want to think about looking in the mirrors.
Because Perez is gaining with every metre that he runs close, and he knows that every point is vital in his World Championship bid up against his teammate, two-time champion of the world, Max Verstappen. We're on lap 7 of 17. Got to go for the clean move, but that monster DRS does give the Red Bull that opportunity on the evidence so far this season. Charles Leclerc maintaining the lead at the front. We've had incidents already. We're on board with the man trying to take sprint victory away.
Leclerc must hammer it through these corners. This is where he's had the advantage through qualifying. The sprint shootout earlier on, the qualifying yesterday, but riding on board with Perez, you can see how well glued that Red Bull is. Looking at the back of the Ferrari, still within 7/10. Now he can get on the gas, and the Red Bull is better in a straight line. Another corner over the brow here, turn 15. tight. The wall juts out at you there and it's easy to clonk it, but the top two are neatly through and Perez is still there with Leclerc. He's not broken away in the middle sector and Perez will have DRS this time.
Perez in prime position to launch an attack on Charles Leclerc. Red Bull versus Ferrari, and now you will see the difference in speed. Charles Leclerc will be checking the mirrors as we go onto the main straight once again. One Red Bull is chasing, the second one is behind. Perez going to have a great opportunity to take the lead here. Can he take his chance? It's the DRS. Charles Leclerc's checking the mirrors, but there's nothing he can do, and Perez roars past to take the lead.
Yeah, nice move, just on the DRS. Leclerc didn't even fight it. He just knows that with the Red Bull that close, and then he opens the DRS. They're impossible to keep behind, but now Leclerc can have his own shot at DRS, and we'll go down towards turn 3.
Are we going to see pass and repass? Is there any opportunity? You can see the DRS wide open, not enough for Leclerc to come back, and Perez has cleanly made the pass, exactly what he was hoping for when he lined it up at the end of turn 16. He was within half a second. That's the amount of time to keep an eye on, and Verstappen will try and do the same in the next couple of laps.
That is an illustration of the Red Bull straight line speed and the Ferrari straight line speed. The Red Bull with DRS, a drive-by pass into turn 1. Then the Ferrari has DRS, can't even look for a lunge into turn 3. Such a weapon, the Red Bull straight line speed. Verstappen will be next behind Leclerc. Let's have another look in towards turn 2. This is on board with Russell. There's a painter's width apart at turn 1. Almost touching on the straight there as Max comes across a little bit. And then George has a look down. There's not much space, little lock-up, bit of a tap. It's racing. It's racing. And it doesn't matter, because Russell's down to 4th again immediately anyway. That was the second one.
Lovely job, Max. Without contact as well. Nicely done.
Yeah, I know how to do that.
Verstappen, not happy, used it as motivation, took back the place. Now, does he have a run? We go back to trackside pictures, and you can see the gap is about a second, so he'll need a few more laps to line it up. Leclerc has stayed within DRS. That could be important, not only for second place, but mainly for the defence against the Red Bull. He's going to need the DRS on the basis of the straight line speed that we've seen between the Red Bull and the Ferrari so far this weekend.
Can he fight back against Perez? The DRS here is going to offset the Ferrari straight line speed weakness, and he's in the DRS zone now, and they're barely catching down towards turn 3. He's good on the brakes though, Charles. Sends it in there, gains a metre compared to the race-leading Red Bull. He's got another one just in behind, so any mistake, and if he drops away from Perez, he's going to be in the same position and be really struggling to defend against Verstappen behind. But if he can stay within a second of Perez out front, that's going to...
Alano, just be careful, wheel spin, exit turn 6, exit turn...
Yeah, I'll try.
Joe Perez finds himself at the front of a sprint race for the first time. This is Oscar Piastri. It's going to be his teammate in front. This is Lando Norris on the right-hand side, disappearing back. And Piastri with the run, with the momentum, with the pass down to turn 1. And he improves up to 10th. No point for that, though. Only the top 8 scoring.
Medium tyres for Piastri. Comes past the softs of Norris. Easy peasy with DRS. Norris not fighting it. No points at the moment for 10th place for Piastri. Needs a couple more places, where Alex Albon is still sitting in the Williams, and that point will mean a lot if Albon can finish there. Halfway through.
We're ticking through the laps. Fantastic pictures as we make our way back onto the main straight as well. And Charles Leclerc is hanging on by his fingertips to the race leader. He stayed within DRS. See, that time is not decreasing like you... we go over there. And does he get the benefit? Now he gets the benefit, and the time decreases by a couple of tenths. He's got to stay within that DRS, surely, to keep Verstappen behind.
Perez was 3 tenths quicker on the last lap. Leclerc is close to being dropped. He gets the DRS open again coming out of turn 2. Can close down Perez marginally down to 3. He's got to make use of that Ferrari strength in the middle sector. He was making these 2 fantastic pole positions with middle sector speed through the Carlson section, taking some risks, too much in the end in the sprint shootout earlier on. He hit the wall at this corner, and he already had done the fast enough lap to start this one from the front. He's not able to take use of the Ferrari cornering at the moment to close in through the middle sector.
Further back, Hulkenberg has gained a position, and now so has Magnussen as well. So Norris has been passed in quick succession by Piastri, Hulkenberg and Kevin Magnussen.
Norris Norris must have a problem the way he's dropped back. There's actually 4 seconds between Piastri and the Haas of Hulkenberg. Norris has got a problem, and that maybe missing some power or something was the way that Piastri came past so easily. Wouldn't expect the soft tyres to be going away at all right now. Lap 10, and with at least half of them, probably more than half of them, under the safety car.
Yeah, got to be a problem because Bottas is running the same compounded tyre, and Bottas is about to clear Norris as well. So a tough day for the driver who gained a position, ran as high as 9th, but no chance to fight through, and Lando Norris being called back to the pits as you would expect. Let's check the gaps. Verstappen will be homing in now, and Leclerc has put all the effort in there. He's still within a second, but Verstappen getting ever closer.
Okay, no DRS now for Leclerc. He's just dropped over that second.
Bit of vibration, turn around, 17, the right.
Back of Alex Albon. Piastri reeling them both in as well. That's the battle for the final point here, and Norris in the background is peeling in.
We're 3 wide. We are 3 wide in the background there, with fantastic battle between Joe Gasly and Bottas. Bottas getting shuffled backwards. The Chinese driver Zhou Guanyu finding his way. So action all the way through the field here. For those who are not having the best of weekends, they're still scrapping, whether it's for the lead, whether it's further back. Norris has been sent back out there. So a check and a 3.5 second session. This is a stop, I should say, and this is Hulkenberg finding his way past Norris a few moments ago.
Maybe a slow puncture or something for Norris.
It's going to be Magnussen we're on board with, because we've just seen Hulkenberg go past.
Yeah, so there's Magnussen coming through at 4, Hulkenberg coming through as well, and Lando clearly had some level of issue and has pitted, and that's going to be him done then for the sprint. Perez, then Leclerc, over a second now there, and then it's P2 to P3, and that's within a second, so Verstappen will get DRS and can charge up behind the Ferrari on the straight.
Right, take 2 now for Verstappen, who is within the gap, but Verstappen, remember, does have the damage reported by the team. That contact with George Russell in the opening corners. There's your race leader, Sergio Perez, having a long look in the left-hand mirror for where the Scarlet Ferrari is. Still not far away. That's only one lock-up. That's only one moment. Look at the closing speed of the Red Bull in the background. Not enough to shape for them.
Yeah, this tyre is starting to melt. Yeah, this tyre is starting to melt.
Whoa, that was a late lunge and a half from Lance Stroll, who's got some overtaking reel of moves this season. He went right around the outside of Sainz on the opening lap in Jeddah, and that was from miles back to take the final point. But it might not be done.
Albon's going to come back at him. The Williams is good in a straight line. Stroll has to defend, and he's gone deep on the brakes again. But he is good on the brakes.
We need to manage a bit more anti in sector 2.
Jimmy, tell me how, tell me how.
More anti in sector 2 if you can. Stroll's doing the same.
I'm being sarcastic. There's no way I can do more.
And in behind, and fancies a sniff at this as well. Nice move from Lance Stroll. You always wince when someone goes that much later on the brakes, that they're going to plough into the wall, but it was well measured. So
after clearing the McLaren, Kevin Magnussen clearing his teammate. Without mechanical issues getting in the way, he's never been out-qualified by a teammate here. He does like this configuration of circuit, and he is an 11th.
Yeah, I mean, I'm falling now, so.
Him to reply, Piastri is within DRS range, so a chance for the Australian driver to move up to 9th in the next few moments. We look back to the front of the field, and these contenders. Charles Leclerc finishes here, it'll be 7 points, and more points than he's scored all season in a single result in a sprint.
And hang a right, because he's actually going back to Perez. Look, he's got DRS now again, and more that Verstappen's not been able to pressure Leclerc, but Leclerc is coming back towards.
So a couple of the medium runners now complaining about the rear. We're just keeping an eye on your rear surfaces.
From DRS, and it's now a battle for the lead again.
This format of weekend is delivering some surprises, but a Ferrari gathering and attacking again against a Red Bull would be up there, given the form that we've seen across the opening 3 rounds. Esteban Ocon being called to the pit.
Already running pretty low down. Ocon is basically last, having started from the pit lane. Albon still behind Stroll, so that's not one that's done yet either for 8th place. And Leclerc, what a turnaround this would be. Leclerc not only fastest man over 1 lap this weekend, and he's proven that twice. But if Ferrari, who have perennially been chewing up their tyres, can come back later on in the sprint here at the Red Bull that's been masterful on its tyres, this would be some turnaround. They're much happier with the car. Leclerc particularly has been flying this weekend. They're happier in general. It's not just Leclerc's Baku speciality. That is true. He's taken his third pole in a row here. He's fantastic on this circuit. But the Ferrari car is more hooked up. And even over longer distance now it's showing.
So, this is further back. This is going to be Hulkenberg losing a position to Zhou Guanyu, the Alfa Romeo driver, making his way by both of them on the same compound of tyre. Zhou Guanyu fights his way through to 12th position. He's up a couple of places from where he started. Gasly, the driver behind him, up 4 places. Perez is the race leader, having gained that position from Charles Leclerc. I think he got the message that he needed to hurry up from his team. It was his personal best first sector. Leclerc, they're going nicely at the end of the lap. This one's still in the balance, but there's 1.3 seconds now for the lead of the sprint.
No DRS now at all. Perez more than a second clear of Leclerc, Leclerc more than a second clear of Verstappen, but any mistake and they're going to be pounced upon, either Perez or Leclerc, because the battles are not over. Russell lapping just a few tenths slower than Verstappen on the last lap. Mercedes not awful in the race trip.
Move in the background, out of the...
I don't know, the rear is completely gone, but no rear grip left.
Okay, copy that. We see it. Yep, it's
bad
before
graining.
the line. Understood.
You can see really bad graining on both tires.
Okay, at this stage then you just have to push through it, unfortunately. Bottas behind's on soft, so he's struggling.
The driver who seems to be struggling, you see Hulkenberg having been passed just a few moments ago by Zhou and Gasly, now dropping way back from them, and De Vries looking to try and improve to 14th position on lap 14.
Hulkenberg has got some sort of issue out there as well, I'm sure, the way that he's plummeting down the order on the medium tyres. Bottas down there on the soft, not enjoying the soft tyres at all. Zhou's got himself in 12th and under pressure here from Gasly in 13th. Gasly just happy to get any level of laps in so far this weekend. Not gone his way. Had a fiery Alpine at that corner early on in practice, cost him the only practice session, plenty of miles, and he's been on the back foot, crashed it in qualifying yesterday, had another issue in the sprint showdown this morning. So this is just an extension of practice really for Gasly before the Grand Prix, where he'll have to start from the back tomorrow. Points only for the top 8. He needs to find 5 places in 3 laps. That's a pretty long order for this one, but he's actually showing much better and at least can build up some level of confidence in this car.
So De Vries is close to Hulkenberg. We're riding on board with Gasly, who is close to Zhou Guanyu, and they're the closest batters on track, which is why we're looking at it. Piace's flirting with DRS. He's around the second with Alex Albon, but no repercussions for the race tomorrow. You can send a late lunge like Lance Stroll did without risking your grid slot, and there's a slam dunk pass for Nick De Vries to the inside of Hulkenberg, who is fading and seems to have some sort of underlying problem beyond tyres.
Perez is gone. 2 seconds now, nearly 3 seconds out front. So was he just hanging back a few laps and now he's still lapping well? Leclerc was second a lap off his best lap of this sprint on the last lap. Verstappen wasn't a huge amount quicker, just nudges within a second of Charles Leclerc again now. A couple of laps to go after this one, and Max will get the DRS on Charles. The battle for second still on. The battle for the win surely will go to Sergio Perez. The medium tyres, are they fading as well as the soft? I mean, Bottas was very vocal with how the soft's gone. The mediums, Stroll's just done a personal best, and the Aston Martin, the DRS obviously working in this session, allowing him to pass Alex Albon. Leclerc and Verstappen both just dropping off the pace.
Making our way through the final stages of the opening sprint of the season. That's the sound and sight of your race leader, who has, remember, it was under a second a few laps ago. He has disappeared, as Jolien told you a few moments ago. Now our attention moves to Verstappen trying to get inside a second, but he knows there's no repercussions to the Grand Prix. How much does he want that extra point? At the moment, 2-point swing Perez's way in the World Championship.
Leclerc's pace is just plummeted. 1.2 seconds he was slower than Perez on the last lap. Verstappen is no...
Okay, 2 laps to go. Let's see if there's anything left in the tyre to attack him.
slower than Russell, Sainz and Alonso behind. Russell and Sainz were actually half a second quicker than this duo on the last lap. They're not going to get there before the end of this one, but they've gone through the tyres pretty quickly in the dirty air. You see Verstappen sliding his way through turn 5, desperate to try and get onto terms with Leclerc and earn himself an extra point before the end of this one. The DEG is way higher than anyone was expecting.
That is the nature of the weekend format when you only have one practice session. Normally on a Friday night you're doing your long run pace, you're getting the data. Wasn't available because they were qualifying for the Grand Prix. Every session mattering enormously this weekend. We have 6 sprints this season and we will be doing this format again in Austria, in Belgium, Qatar, Austin and Brazil. And the teams learning as they go, feeling their way through the weekend, and Charles Leclerc doing everything he can out of that 16th and last real corner on the racetrack, because these are flat sweeps. This is a great view of one way heading down to turn 7, the other way roaring past, building up past 200 miles per hour, and the drivers finding themselves on the final lap of the sprint. We've seen drag races to the line in the past. Can Verstappen set up another one for P2?
Leclerc loses another half a second compared to his previous one, a second and a half compared to Perez. The tyres are gone on the Ferrari. Russell's nearly a second quicker than Leclerc now. If this were a Grand Prix...
I'm glancing everywhere.
Copy.
Medium tyres are absolutely shot on the Ferrari. And Verstappen's going to have one big chance at coming back, I think.
Yeah, Verstappen is going to have an opportunity here. You can see the Ferrari using more of the road. And as we saw earlier in the season, one lap pace with Charles Leclerc, who qualified in Jeddah, P2, then had that penalty, so didn't start on the front row. But the Ferrari tyre wear there was not what they wanted. Melbourne, they felt they took a step forward in the 3rd round of the season. Now in Baku, ominous signs for the Ferrari team, but Charles Leclerc scoring good points at the moment. Will it be good points for 3rd? Will it be good points for 2nd? Can Verstappen put something together in the final meters of the sprint?
Yeah, we've seen drag races to the line around this circuit for 2nd place between Stroll and Bottas, famously, back in 2017. I don't know if Max is going to be close enough this time. He'll get DRS, but he's also struggling with his tyres, and Leclerc should be able to hang on.
Out of the final corners for the final time, the man who has been on the podium here more times than any other circuit on the Formula 1 calendar is going to get another brilliant result in Baku. Sergio Perez wins the sprint and takes the checkered flag for Red Bull. Charles Leclerc scores more points right now than he has done for the rest of the season with 2nd place, and Max Verstappen completes the top 3 after a bit of argy-bargy with George Russell in the opening laps. But it's Checo's day once again on the streets of Baku. He won his first ever Grand Prix here for Red Bull with the team a couple of years ago, and that is his first sprint victory. More great days in Azerbaijan for this man who simply adores street circuits. The street fighter at it again.
Okay, tidy job, P1.
Well done, guys. We did what we had to. Well done there. Good job, guys.
Okay, tidy job, P1.
Well done, guys. We did what we had to. Well done there. Good job, guys. And we will get them tomorrow again.
Today, Max came out on top. Today, it was Checo, and it's earned him this sprint victory.
Okay, good job. P2.
Yeah, thank you. That was the very best we could do. Now we try.
Okay, good job. P2.
Yeah, thank you. That was the very best we could do. Now we try and work for 2 more.
Sure, and well managed.
Complement of 51 laps for the Grand Prix tomorrow. But strong result for Charles Leclerc. Needed that after the poor start to the season. He has been electric around these streets so far this weekend. Top of both of the qualifying sessions. And now he finds himself with a strong P2. Nothing he can do about Perez. Let's check in with the 3rd place driver.
Go again tomorrow. Hopefully without damage.
Yeah, well done, Max, with an injured car. That was very good. Well done.
But we will hear from the top three in Parc Ferme in a few moments' time. A 1-3 for Red Bull, back in formation. And they do have this extraordinary pace this year, a brilliant top speed as well. What it means is that everyone is going all in on those opening laps because they know that Red Bull drivers have to play the patient game because they've got the race pace. They know they can fight back later.
That's the problem. There's no... Max doesn't need to take the risk with George Russell here, because if he's ending up out of the race, then his rival at the moment is his teammate, who can score big points. And it'll be the same again tomorrow. Although Russell will start 11th, there'll be Lewis Hamilton up in the mix. There'll be Carlos Sainz sniffing around behind them as well. And these guys know they can go aggressive with the Red Bulls because they're not in the championship fight. It's the same across the whole of motorsport. If you know someone's got to play it safe, you can go a little bit more aggressive and take an advantage like that.